Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun. Da, 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 dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 Hello and welcome back to the mothership. We are playing some The Great Ace Attorney Chronicles today. We will be finishing the third part of the first trial today. Let's get started. 22nd of November, 1:14 p.m. Supreme Court of Judicature, Courtroom 2. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Well, understand you are the judicial assistant to the defense, but why this sudden ingress into my courtroom? Ha!
Objection! Ha! A judicial assistant and a woman no less. The rules state the females are not permitted into this court of law other than to testify.
Yes, I fully understand. I only ask for 5 minutes of time. I have some vital evidence I must hand over to the defense.
Ha! You're too late, girl. The trial has already been concluded.
5 minutes. I will not allow 1 moment more.
But, Your Excellency!
I am most grateful. Who exactly are you? I'm sorry, there's no time. Please simply accept this for now. What is it? A report about something? Written in English. It's Giselle Brett's research. The English woman's? After the trial resumed earlier, I hurried back to the university. I went to Dr. Wilson's laboratory in the medical faculty and borrowed this paper. Oh yes, that's right. Miss Brett was studying under the professor, wasn't she? So, does this research, whatever it is, have something to do with this case? I'm afraid I don't know. I haven't been able to listen to the proceedings of the trial myself. Oh, no, of course not. Special characteristics of curare and its effects on human subjects. Interesting. Curare? What's that? I've never heard that word before. Time's up.
Time's up! Prosecution demands the immediate removal of this female trespasser from the courtroom.
There was too little time for me to read it in detail, but I've summarized what I could on a note just inside the cover. I think it could be valuable. If you think it could be valuable, please do cast your eye over it. This is wonderful. Thank you. Israel's report has been added to the court record. Goodbye then, and good luck. Synopsis. A poison made from the bark of certain trees in the jungles of South America. The hunters of the region use it since ancient times to incapacitate their prey. Instant paralysis of the entire body and subsequent death, even in minute doses. The above-mentioned effects occur when the poison enters the body through a wound, such as that inflicted by a blowpipe dart. Due to its ability to render the human body paralytic, it's believed that the toxin could have application as an anesthetic. However, a solution for the respiratory arrest caused as a result of the full body paralysis must be found first, or patients would die of suffocation. Die of suffocation, that doesn't help too much. But it probably does. I'm just overthinking it.
Good luck. Goodbye then, and good luck.
You've had long enough, Counsel. We cannot detain our English guests any longer. I ask the prosecution and the defense now one last time. Does either side have any further evidence to present to the court? I presume not, but...
The prosecution has made its case convincingly enough already, Nothing more to add, Your Excellency.
Yonosuke, we're out of options here. This really is our very last chance. Yes, I know. Your Excellency, the defense does have new evidence. That look. The unyielding stare of a true Japanese warrior. Well, Miss Brett?
Yes, Your Excellency?
If you wouldn't mind, perhaps you could grace us with your presence a little longer.
It's a delightful invitation, but I'm afraid it's not so very long until tea time. I'll have to politely decline.
Forgive me, Miss Brett. It seems I wasn't clear. I realized it was phrased as a question. However, I must ask you to treat that as an order.
I've said it many times before, but the Japanese language makes no sense.
My apologies, dear lady. So, Counsel, what is this new evidence that demands the court's attention?
Yes!
Miss Jazeel Brett, we understand you were studying under Dr. Wilson at Yume University, doing research. Research, by sheer coincidence perhaps, into a deadly poison.
What?
Poison? Where are you going with this, Counsel? Toxin known as curare, Your Excellency. Even the slightest amount of this deadly poison entering the body leads to instant death.
Objection!
What? What complete and utter nonsense? Curare, you say? I've never heard of it.
You wouldn't have done.
What do you mean?
I mean that you wouldn't have heard of curare before for one very simple reason. It doesn't exist in our country. It doesn't exist? Correct. Which means, no matter what tests the police can do for toxins, they never identify curare. Why? Because there is no test available for here that can identify the presence of this highly deadly poison.
What?
Oh, that's a much better snappy. Order. Council, does this deadly poison truly exist? According to this report offered by the visiting research student from England, curare has been long used by the tribespeople of South America as a poison to lace their arrows. It seems that it is reasonably well known among European doctors and scientists.
To lace their arrows?
The report states that it's produced from the extract of a tree that grows deep in the Amazonian jungle. And it was first brought back to Europe at the turn of the century by explorers. It claims that animals shot by arrows laced with curare suffer instant death. Doesn't that sum it up, Miss Brett?
Objection!
Trumpery! These aspirations are utter trumpery! Trumpery! To start with, if the victim had been administered some of this so-called deadly poison, he would have been squirming and writhing in pain, and the other diners would have surely noticed.
That's true. What do you say to that, Inspector? Obviously, I would have noticed a disturbance like that. I don't remember anything like that either. I didn't notice the professor being in any kind of pain. According to this, however, it's the other way around.
What do you mean, the other way around?
The very fact that the victim didn't show any visible signs of distress is evidence that curare was used. Explain yourself, Counsel. The moment this toxin enters a person's system, it causes instant paralysis. In other words, afflicted victims lose all strength and are completely unable to move. Even if they were in total agony, there would be no visible signs of pain at all. How terrible. Obviously, if a man lost all strength in his muscles, he'd collapse on the floor. But with a chair under him for support, as Dr. Wilson did, the effects could go largely unnoticed. I don't follow, Kozuma. That's just paralysis. I thought the poison caused instant death. The full explanation is extremely unpleasant. Poison causes immediate paralysis, as I said, leaving the victim unable to move. But after a short time, the paralysis is so severe, it causes the muscles that control respiration to fail. Respiration? In other words, the actual cause of death is suffocation. And all the while, the victim is conscious and aware, just unable to move.
That's hideous!
To the observer, it would look almost like the victim was slipping peacefully into an endless sleep. But for the victim himself, his final moments would be a living hell. That is the true nature of this deadly curare poison. And you're suggesting that this bottle, Council, actually contains this terrifying poison?
Objection!
This is all very convenient, isn't it? A hitherto unknown poison for which there is no means of testing. What a happy tale for the defense.
If I may.
All of these facts, you think you're so clever. But you must be taught some manner.
Okay.
It is you who must be taught. Of course. Dear lady!
So, this is how you Japanese behave, is it? What? You steal another's honest work and then you announce the results as if you discovered them. I'm appalled. What a loathsome act. Well, Miss Brett, the feeling is mutual.
Whatever do you mean?
Capitalizing on the unfortunate circumstance of an innocent man to frame him for a heinous crime? That really is a loathsome act. Wouldn't you agree?
Objection!
Enough of this! I, for one, refuse to accept it. The idea that some poison that doesn't exist in the great empire of Japan is breaking the rules.
What an idiot. What's so funny? Oh, excuse me. Your Excellency? Yes, Miss Brett? May I borrow that bottle for a moment, please? Well, yes, I don't see, why not? Don't get too big for your boots, you insignificant little island boys. You're an island woman. Yeesh. You both live on islands. What are you talking about? Sorry? To an English woman such as myself, this whole affair is a farcical comedy. Farcical. Your little police games and these foolish courtroom antics. It's laughable, really. But I'm getting bored of it all now. It's time for the games to end. Cheers! Wait, what are you doing? Obviously it was in the glass and not in the bottle, you idiot. No sparkle left at all. How appropriate for this shabby affair. You're just telling us where the poison is, you Nimrod. Goodness. Whatever is the matter? You all look quite stunned. So, no curare. The bottle was clean, is that what you're saying?
You look quite incredulous, little boy, but of course, that's the simple truth.
Thank you for presenting the findings of my research so concisely here in this grand venue. Most kind. Thank you, waiter. Now then, Your Excellency. Yes, Miss Brett. I should like to be excused now, please. I think I've given more than enough of my time for the furtherance of friendship between our countries. Yes, dear lady. We are most gratified with all the assistance you've given. This doesn't make sense. There had to have been poison in that bottle. So how did she... You haven't figured it out, Kazuma. Why? How did she swallow a whole glass and live to tell the tale? I don't understand it.
Well, I suppose if there's nothing else for this little Far Eastern charade, will make for interesting conversation in the next party I attend in London. There has to have been poison in that bottle, doesn't there? But there can't have been, because otherwise she would have keeled over dead.
Come on, Ryonosuke. We have all the clues now. The bottle of water contains no poison because this is not Princess Bride, and she has not become accustomed to the poison. As I thought, there is no poison in that bottle. What? Why, Ryonosuke? Isn't it obvious? If there were poison in there, she'd be dead by now. Sometimes your unadulterated naivety really astounds me, but sometimes it's in need of good standing. Until it's as dark as your uniform in the ways of the world. Oh, is that what this color is supposed to represent? Shit. Shoot. Is she immune? Is this the Princess Bride? This whole trial is poison. Game over. That will do. I am not satisfied that no reasonable doubt remains in this matter. The defense has consistently failed to refute adequately the assertions of the prosecution. Accordingly, I hereby announce the court's final verdict. I find that the defendant, Ryonosuke Naruhodo, guilty. Game over. Officer, restrain the accused and send telegraphic communication to Great Britain without delay. Accused will not be granted the right to appeal. That is all. Court adjourned. Game over. So, okay, so because it wasn't through the blow dart. Because he got his tooth removed. It's because he got his tooth removed. That's amazing. Okay. The culprit did put curare poison into Dr. Wilson's carbonated water. The defense refuses to change its position. You're serious?
Objection!
Fool! Are you blind? There's no possible way that the poison bottle could contain poison. I mean, we just saw
Miss Brett drinking the water from it? That's right, which rather complicates your argument, I think. And I believe that complication can be explained. How?
How exactly?
I need to think through all the things that don't quite add up here, one by one. I'm sure the answer is in the evidence we have in the courtroom somewhere. Court record somewhere. It has to be. Very well. If the defense truly intends to assert this claim, then I ask you to support the assertion with evidence. What explains how the witness was able to consume the supposedly poisoned water unscathed?
Yes!
The answer to this riddle is right here in Miss Brett's own research report.
Objection!
That's not a valid explanation.
No?
After all, we don't speak English. That report is utter gibberish.
You are an idiot.
This impudent young scoundrel is trying to ridicule the court, Your Excellency.
I'm not trying to ridicule anyone, honest. I'm just reading Susato-san's notes. I concur. This report is too extensive to be considered in its entirety by the court. You will direct us to the pertinent section, counsel. Which section of the report reveals a alleged answer to this riddle? We've been hearing a lot about this curare poison, and it's left me curious about something. Oh, counsel? Well, it sounds as though indigenous hunters have been using this poison for years and years to lace the heads of the arrows that they shoot at whatever prey they're hunting. So we've been led to believe, yes. And the point of hunting is to catch prey to eat.
Get to the point, please.
But if they were to use these laced arrows, doesn't that mean there would be traces of poison left in the prey the hunters were going to eat? Yes, good point. So surely the hunters wouldn't want to eat their prey, would they? Because they'd be eating poison. Good gracious, counsel. No, that would be madness. But I actually found the answer to that conundrum in this research paper right here. Under special characteristics, it says this. Poison starts to work after entering the body through a wound. Through a wound, you say? I see, that makes sense. Yes, the mention of that particular detail seemed a little strange to me, though. But it makes sense when you interpret what's written like this. When curare enters the body through an open wound, it has terrifying poisonous effects. However, when it enters the body via the mouth, it has no poison effects whatsoever.
What?
Miss Brett, You offered this research, knew Kurare's special characteristics, and you knew that you could make a spectacle of drinking that water without any danger to yourself.
You meddling little rapscallion! Rapscallion!
Well, Ryonosuke, it turns out you're an even better lawyer than I thought you'd be.
Really? Me?
A lawyer?
Objection!
All this poison talk is fascinating, I'm sure, but I fail to see how it could possibly. So, ill-bred little puppy has a little new toy to play with. Some facts he read in a book. But I'm afraid knowledge doesn't suit you, little boy. It only makes you look silly.
What are you trying to say? Your schoolboyish logic has a fatal flaw. We both go to the same university, you. Try not to swear. Try not to swear. Schoolboyish? Flaw?
Even as your brain has managed to deduce, Kurare is safe to ingest. It seems likely that its effects are neutralized by the acidic nature of gastric succus.
Oh, yes, well, of course. Gastric suckers? What are they?
So, if this lethal poison is completely harmless when drunk, the professor wouldn't have died when he swallowed it, would he?
Tooth! Tooth! Tooth!
That's right!
Good gracious.
That's basic science. Science that even a schoolboy should be able to understand, no?
Order. Order in the court. Order! Logic holds. If the lady and the professor drank the same poison, they would be affected in the same way. Are you trying to suggest?
Yes! This Kurare poison is completely irrelevant to the case on trial. That's right. Surely even a little crack coach like you could understand something as simple as that.
What is this welling up inside me? I've never felt it like this before. It's a sort of conviction to break down all the discrepancies. It's so intense, almost rage-like. And more than anything else, it's an animalistic desire to take down my prey.
Objection!
There we go. I don't think so, Mr. Jailbret. He did! He lodged his first objection! He did it!
How dare you use that tone with me?
You know very well there's no fatal flaw here. You know very well there's no fatal flaw here. You know exactly why, even though both you and the victim swallowed the same poison. You are alive, but Dr. Wilson is dead. Counsel, I'm sure I don't need you to remind you. You must provide compelling evidence. As we now know that the poison is completely harmless when ingested. Why would Dr. Wilson alone have been killed by the Kurare?
Take that!
He just didn't take that! Ah! As Miss Brett is so readily pointed out, she drank the same water as the professor. However, there was a fundamental and fatal difference between the two diners. A fatal difference? The toxic effects of curare are only felt when the poison enters the body through an open wound. So, for a healthy person with no injuries, drinking it is completely harmless. But what if there was a wound inside the mouth of the person drinking the poisoned water?
Inside?
Yes, like the wound you might have if you had just been to the dentist and had a tooth extracted, for example.
Ah!
Oh! Miss Brett, you acknowledged many times in your testimony already that you were well aware of Dr. Wilson's dental appointment that day. So that is it. That's it. You use that knowledge to orchestrate this. Is she laughing?
I don't like to repeat myself, but honestly, I can't resist. These childish courtroom games and your half-baked arguments are all so puerile.
What do you mean?
Don't worry, little schoolboy. You'll find out soon enough. You see, when you leave vital evidence lying around, you never know what might happen to it.
No. I mean, it could just slip.
Oh dear, how careless of me. I'm afraid some crucial evidence may have just been tragically destroyed.
It's on the ground, it's not destroyed. You ban. Officer, what are you waiting for? Collect as much of that water from the broken bottle as possible, at once.
You're wasting your time. This delightful carpet under my feet here was a gift from the British Empire. I assure you, it will soak up the water beautifully. You have neither the technology nor the presence of mind to recover it.
How could you? You won't get away with this.
You can thump the bench and shout as much as you like, little boy. But I'm afraid we'll never know, will we, if there really was poison in the bottle, or not. And let us not forget, we still have some very compelling evidence left intact. Isn't that right, counsel for the prosecution? Oh, of course, of course. You're referring to this photographic print, I presume, dear lady? That's right. And really, looking at this photograph, it's as clear as day, isn't it? The poor professor was sitting with his back to me. Of course, the only person who could have shot him from the front is the little schoolboy.
Objection!
No, you killed the victim that day, using curare. And then, in order to frame Fionosuke Naruhodo for the crime, you waited until he picked up the pistol you arranged for him to find on the floor. Before you shot the professor's dead body in the chest with your own hidden gun. Then, in the confusion that followed, all you had to do was turn the dead professor and his chair around. You see, you had every opportunity to commit this crime.
What a wonderful imagination you have, young man.
A hidden gun, you say? And I shot the dead professor's body, did I? Well, I'm terribly sorry, but you don't have a shred of evidence.
Exactly! And as you have nothing to support your wild claims, the prosecution stance remains unchanged.
I mean, she clearly tampered with evidence, so that should give her something. In the eyes of everyone here.
The victim, John H. Wilson, was killed by gunshot to the chest. Delivered in the cold blood by the accused, Ryonosuke Naruhodo.
Yes, just give up on the fact that there is literally poison in the bottle. This is unbelievable. How can this be happening? We had her, but now... Is she really going to get away with it? The way she destroyed that evidence was obscene. Ryonosuke. Yes? We have come this far, but now you're the only one who can find it. What? What do you mean? We've lost a vital piece of evidence, it's true. So if there's any clues left for us to use now, they must be in your head. In my head? You told me before that you had your powers of observation and apparently memory were the one thing you could really depend on. Well, yes, that's true, but I didn't manage to notice that this woman was a foreigner with a swan on her head. How did you not notice that? So think back to it now. Try to remember every last detail about that scene, about the scene that day. Everything you saw, everything you felt, every color, every smell. What I saw, what I felt, every color. Oh dang, boy. Is Kazuma right? Somewhere in the vibrant memory of this same scene in my head. Could there be another clue to expose the identity of Dr. Wilson's killer? Of course there's a clue, I can't say there's nothing. Actually, Kazuma, I think I might have something. Thinking back over everything I saw, I think I might have uncovered another clue. Haha. You always have something up your sleeve, don't you, Ryonosuke? Come on then. Let's wipe the smug smile off that Englishwoman's face with some evidence. Seriously, I don't see it. I don't see that there's like a color change. Is that the color change? That might be the color change actually. But it might also just be... It might also just be like the shading. Come on, then. Let's wipe the smug smile off the Englishwoman's face with some evidence. Alright, I can't wait. It's been niggling me for a while that something feels amiss in my memories of that day. Whatever it is could be the key to arriving at the truth about all this. It's here something, where the clue that shows who Dr. Wilson's real killer must have been is. How? No, seriously. How is it not captured in the print that there's like some blood? It's perfectly fine. Unless you wipe it off.
Take that!
That is a voice. Inspector Hosonaga. Answer me this. Yes? What is it? He's still miles away. Probably thinking about that bottle being smashed. As you've said a number of times now, you strive for perfection in your investigations, don't you? Absolutely. I wonder, therefore, if you took anything else from the scene of the crime. Like, for instance, the plate of steak you took to the victim's table that day?
Objection!
Wait a minute! Where are you going with this?
She really likes shutting people up.
Where are you going with this, little boy?
It's just a memory that has been troubling me.
What memory?
I saw the scene showing in this photographic print with my own eyes that day. And I saw that on the wooden base of the plate that the steak was served on was a splattering of blood.
What?
Oh, really? And what of it? Obviously, that must have happened when you shot the professor. No, that can't be the case. Take a good look at the photograph and the relative position of everything here. The plate of steak is almost directly behind the victim. If I'm supposed to have shot Dr. Wilson in the chest from the front, there's no way that blood from the victim could have ended up directly behind him.
Ah!
Yes. For blood to have made it onto the plate, it implies the plate was between the victim and the shooter. Which means the shooter must have been sitting on the opposite side of the professor as you were. Giselle Brett.
I beg your pardon?
Objection!
This is beyond ridiculous. Fabricated nonsense. This is the court seriously expected to believe something the accused has apparently just remembered seeing.
Hold it!
Hold it.
No, no, okay. This could be the moment my entire career on the police force has been leading me to. Inspector, you mean... Yes, I took the plate. In the interest of preserving evidence from the scene of the crime, I took it, meat and all. I don't care if they call me a crime scene thief because of it.
You did what?
I took the steak you had been eating, Miss Brett. I took the steak that the sergeant had been eating. And I did it all in the name of justice. Then we can find out for sure whether or not there's a bloodstain on Miss Brett's plate. We must examine it now.
But why was the plate there in the first place when he was shot? It should have been in front of her. This doesn't make sense.
Inspector. The court wishes to examine plate from the victim's table immediately. Yes, sir. Sorry for the delay. Here's what you ordered, the steak. Well, what about the blood? Is there blood on it?
Of course there isn't.
Quickly, Inspector. Blood man, show the court. Of course. Examine the plate at your leisure.
There's no blood.
No blood. Oh no. What a surprise. Are these two steaks consistent? I mean, there's no reason there wouldn't be. No blood anywhere. But no, that's impossible. I know I saw it. I'm sure of it. It was right there on the table behind the professor. There was blood on the side of the plate.
What an unbecoming expression, little boy.
Oh dang! Man, that's one is great. Okay.
You see, that is why you can't trust what the Japanese tell you.
Ah!
I couldn't agree more. In the case of this disgrace to the empire.
I believe we may finally have reached a conclusion in this trial.
Let's hope so. This let's pretend attempt at courtroom proceedings is painful to watch, but I do promise to do my best to forget all about it when it's over, except when you're gossiping at your parties, etc., etc. Ha! This sorry-looking steak reveals the facts all too clearly. If the sorry-looking accused wishes to examine it again, be my guest.
Plate of steak has been entered the court record. Was the plate I saw, or thought I saw, just a figment of my imagination? Huh? What in the world is this? I think it's a Kanban coin, and the hallmark is from the Hoei era, I believe. No. I mean, what is it? I mean, what's it doing there? Wait, did you say it was a Hoei Kanban? Yes, and apart from the meat juices, it looks to be in good condition. Imagine it's very valuable. Huh. Isn't the first time today there's been talk of a Hoei Kanban. I've heard of pearls before swine, but I've never heard of bullion and bullion. And I don't think you ever will again. This is extraordinary though. This means it's the sergeant's plate. Ahahahaha. This is it now. I've lost. Ryonosuke. It's not over yet. Not until the final gavel. Never stop believing in yourself. Keep looking forward no matter what. Believe in myself? Really? Maybe I should at least examine the evidence for myself. As the evidence requested by the defense has not been shown to be problematic in any way, I presume any further examination of evidence in this trial will be unnecessary. Does the defense have any objection? That bloodstain was going to clinch the trial for me. Can this plate of steak reveal any other clues at all? Your Excellency, please, wait. This plate of beef is hiding another clue. Another clue that will reveal the shocking truth.
Objection!
The only thing that's shocking here is your unhealthy fascination with beef steak.
Your Excellency, I think I've made myself clearer, haven't I? I will not be able to turn a blind eye to any more unnecessary procrastination in this trial. I'm sorry, Miss Brett, but we must ensure a thorough examination of the evidence. I will not give a ruling until I'm completely satisfied that all reasonable doubt has been dispelled.
I see.
As a newly affirmed ally of my country, that still your position, is it? Thank you, Your Excellency. So over the top! Counsel for the defense, you will now clearly show the court what you are alluding. Where precisely on this plate of steak is a new clue to be found?
Got it!
God dang it. That was too hasty. Turn it over. We already searched this. I wish there was a fast forward button. Present. Got it. This is really weird, but okay. Good gracious. Good gracious, that's...
Come on!
What on earth? A Hoei era one adult? Miss Brett, this is in fact the beefsteak that you ordered at the restaurant on that day in question, is it? Tell me, why is there an old coin seemingly hidden underneath the meat?
Shut up!
What a ridiculous question. How should I know? I've never seen that thing before in my life. I don't know what it is and I want no part of it.
Objection!
I fail to see how this is relevant. A coin under the meat. That could simply have been a careless mistake by the chef.
Oh boy. A lot of things fell. Okay.
Careless mistake by the chef in a moment of distraction.
Objection!
Don't be absurd. How we're supposed to believe that this happened by accident in the kitchen? A rare Hoei Kanban just happens to be hidden underneath that piece of steak. If this turns out to be irrelevant to the case, I'll rip up my ticket to Great Britain right now. He's right, it can't be a coincidence. Your Excellency. Yes, Counsel? Rare Hoei Kanban just happens to be hidden underneath that piece of steak. If this turns out to be irrelevant to the case, you don't have a lawyer job! Sheesh. I'll give up my lawyer job right now.
Objection!
By all means, don't let us stop you. No one invited you anyway.
Shut up!
Perhaps, little boy, you should realize that it's you who was irrelevant. Even though I'm the one on trial here. The point is, it's essential that we ask the owner of this coin if he can explain what it's doing under that steak. The owner? Yes, it's obvious. There's only one person it can belong to. The owner of the kanban that was found beneath the steak is Kiryu Collector. Obviously, it can only be antiques dealer and the owner of Ratsute, Kiryu Karekura-san. Kiryu, as in Mr. Cucumber something? Kiryu, as in Mr. Cucumber something. Honestly, these ridiculous Japanese names are quite unfathomable. Yes, and I bet your English name is so fathomable to these Japanese. Oh yes, the old man who testified earlier alongside the military sergeant, correct? Yes, Your Excellency. I remember him saying that he was up to something with his kanban coin when it happened. At exactly the moment the gun was fired.
The gunshot interested me not. I was far too busy on the floor.
Too busy on the floor? Sorry, what were you doing?
Hunting for treasure. Indeed. The Hoei Kanban. I got my prized coin.
Then this Hoei era kanban. Do you mean to tell me?
Objection!
No. Why would Karekura-san's kanban be sandwiched between the victim's beefsteak and its plate? Makes no sense.
Yes!
Which is why I'm asking to bring Karekura-san back to the witness stand so we can ask him. Officer, bring both witnesses that testified earlier back in here. Thank you very much. Without a moment's delay. I can't believe we've come back round to that pair again. But I have a hunch, a strong hunch, that if we chase down the real significance of this Koban. I've been saying Kanban, haven't I? We'll find that it's a key element in the case. A case of fever, eh?
What is this all about? Why have I been called up again? Don't you realize it's dinner time for little baby Ido? When my son's belly is empty, he's fiercer than a pack of wolves. Exploited by the police we were, like miserable dogs, forced to bear false witness. And when cast from this courtroom myself, I became a ruined man, and a trice, all worthless, withered antique. Nothing more I have to say. The sun has set on this Rasute shop owner's existence.
Yeesh, that's dark? Question mark? Is he gonna stab himself with that knife? Be that as it may, Karakuta-san, something has come to light that requires your clarification. As far as your Rasute memory serves, have you ever seen this?
Ah! That's it! The one, the very one, the exact one that it is. The resplendent, splendiferous Hawaii treasure that my rusty bones managed to misplace that day. It can't be!
Oh my gosh, my voice. As I thought.
Young man! Enlighten this decrepit old fool. Put me out of my misery. Where was my treasure? Where was it? Where was it dropped?
Okay, I'm mixing ouchie with this guy. I'm not sure it was dropped anywhere. We found your coin sandwiched between a beefsteak and its plate, soaking in the seasoned meat's juices.
Sandwiched? Soaking? Seriously?
Clearly, it couldn't have fallen there by accident. Which means somebody must have hidden it there on purpose.
Somebody concealed my Hawaii treasure between a slab of meat and a metal plate. Who would do such a thing? Such an unconscionable thing.
Look to your right. Sweating bullets, are you? Excuse me. Did I say something? Yes, of course. Proceed, Inspector Hosonaga. I mentioned this earlier in the trial, but I was working undercover in the restaurant in order to investigate another case. Yes.
Ah! Yes, that's right. The secret undercover operation.
La Carnival is a high-class Western cuisine restaurant. It attracts wealthy diners, including many foreigners. Recently, there has been a run of similarly executed thefts targeting the restaurant's rich clientele. A number of such incidents have been reported to the police bureau. Wicked crimes indeed. We wanted to nip the case in the bud quickly, especially with so many foreigners being affected. So that's why you were sent undercover, is it? Yes, I took a job of waiter at the restaurant in order to flush out the criminal. It seems likely that this Koban incident is the work of the same thief. So unbeknownst to us, there's a master thief at work in the restaurant on a regular basis. This place is already the scene of several crimes, it seems. I don't know about the master thief part, but the identity of the person who stole and hid the Character-Sans Koban is all too clear.
What? What?
I think the court would like to hear the defense's view on this matter. Tell us, who is the despicable scoundrel that stole Karakuta's Koban and hid it under the steak? I wonder who. Yes, sir, no, sir.
Take that!
Obviously, it can only be you. Sergeant Ayasa Nosa. Oopsie.
What? How? How dare you? You monster!
Monster?
I stole that Koban, did I? I'm the master thief of La Carnival, am I? You're seriously accusing me of these crimes, cadet? But it wasn't me, it was Ido. Ido is the mastermind behind all this.
Wow. Wow. You would push the blame on your crimes onto your own son, an innocent little baby? It is you who's the monster, Sergeant Nosa. Nosa. Oh boy. Oh my gosh. Did he? This is his mustache got pulled curly or have new voice for him now.
Wah! Imperial.
Nope.
Wow. Wow. Imperial. Nippon Imperial Army Sergeant is no, sir. Preparing to stand down in the Supreme Court, sir. Ah.
Oh boy.
Do any of you know of the extraordinarily low wages the Nippon Imperial Army pays those it expects to keep our country safe?
I understand the temporary increase in taxation owing to the recently ended conflicts remains in place. And I've heard it is harder for the lower-ranking soldiers to make a living, yes.
All I want is to put a hot meal on the table for my son.
That's why you were stealing things at the restaurant?
Place is heaving with money. Every few days I go in there and do reconnaissance for a target. And I enjoy chomping my way through a good steak at the same time.
Sounds like he doesn't bother with a knife and fork, even. Which is worryingly believable. And your target that day was the old man and his Koban?
Yes, sir. He was an easy mark. I slipped a coin in my pocket without any trouble at all. A veritable phantom thief you are. I was all set to leave the steak I was halfway through devouring when it happened. Bang! Yes, when the professor was shot. I knew if the police conducted a search and found the coin in my pocket, I'd be finished. I'd owe too. So I hit the incriminating evidence as fast as I could, on the double. I slipped on the steak, hoping I'd be able to rendezvous with it again at a later date.
That is a very small witness stand now. What witnesses? One stand.
This is ridiculous. Perhaps you could carry on with this absurd prattling in your own time.
Well, Miss Brett.
Oh, of course, dear lady, of course. How rude of us. I'm quite sure there's no need to detain you any longer at all. Mindy, esteemed gentlewoman, please be excused, Your Excellency.
Indeed. Theft of the Koban was clearly perpetrated by this baby-saddled sergeant. It would certainly appear to be unrelated to Dr. Wilson's brother.
Of course it is. Hiding a coin on a lump of meat? The sheer nonsense of such an idea astounds me.
Nonsense, is it?
Well, oof. And as for picking up your steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork, it's beyond nonsense. It's pure madness.
Very well. Now that all the questions concerning this witness's testimony have been answered, I see no further justification for detaining her. Miss Brett, you are free to leave.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Good luck, everyone.
And good day. Ryunosuke, what's the matter with you? There's no time for daydreaming. Oh, no, it's just... something about Miss Brett's parting words there got me thinking. I can't quite work it out exactly, but something she said jarred with me. I feel there was a contradiction in there somewhere. Something didn't quite add up. If that's the case, don't just stand there thinking. Make your voice heard. Sorry? You can think later, but if you don't call out now, it'll be too late. Trial will be over.
Hold it!
Wait, Miss Brett. What is it now? I'm afraid, just one last time. There's something I'd like to ask you. I'd like you to explain the contradiction in your parting words from a few moments ago. What are you talking about? What contradiction?
Objection!
What new student nonsense is this?
Well, what parting words were you talking about, Ryunosuke? Hiding a coin under a lump of meat? The sheer nonsense of such an idea astounds me. And as for picking up your steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork, it's beyond nonsense. It's pure madness. Yes, I'm right. What she said there exposed an undeniable contradiction. No, she doesn't use the fork and knife. Is it the way it's been chomped on? Did she switch the steaks? Yes, I'm right. What she said there exposed an undeniable contradiction. I'm going to need to see some evidence, Counsel. If Miss Brett's words truly are contradictory, where is the evidence to prove it? It's the way that this steak's been cut. It's not been cut.
Take that!
The steak that Miss Brett had been eating before the professor was killed. Yes, go on. Yes, go on. More accurately, Your Excellency. The steak that was on the victim's table just before the professor was killed.
Now you're just splitting hairs.
Not true. Doesn't something about the steak strike you as very unnatural?
Unnatural? What on earth do you mean?
It's extremely obvious. I'm talking about the shape of the edge where it's been eaten.
Oh!
I see you've noticed it too, Miss Brett. Noticed exactly what exactly, Counsel? Just a few moments ago, Miss Brett claimed no Englishman would even contemplate picking up a steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork.
Of course she did. She's a refined English gentlewoman herself.
Then take a good look at the steak, in particular, the edge where it's been eaten. As you can see, there's clearly there are clearly defined barbaric teeth marks there.
Ah! Oh!
Ah! It looks like Miss Brett has realized something. So, if the witness, as she claims, wouldn't contemplate eating anything without using a knife and fork, then shouldn't there be teeth? There shouldn't be teeth marks in the steak at all.
Objection!
But what is your actual point? Perhaps that the delightful Miss Brett was ravenously hungry and... couldn't help her. Oh, whatever you say, dear lady.
Then shut up. I mean, you probably don't understand her because she's speaking English, but... as I said, I really must be leaving now. Afternoon tea with the Minister of Justice cannot possibly wait any longer.
Of course, this will be over in a blink of an eye. Rest assured, I'm about to put this rookie in his place. Just leave everything to...
I've heard enough. Your irritating little spectacled samurai relic.
Of course, dear lady.
What is the matter, Miss Brett? Have we ruffled your feathers? Clearly, the witness knows what this means. She's realized the catastrophic implications these teeth marks in the stake have for her. Ryunosuke, do you know where you're going with this? Yes. Now, at last, it's all come together. The mysterious teeth marks in the steak that had allegedly been eaten with cutlery. The reason why the bloodstain I saw somehow seems to have disappeared. And most importantly, the evidence that proves once and for all who shot Dr. Wilson that day. I accept that these teeth marks in the steak are a little unnatural, as you put it, counsel. But what exactly are you suggesting that tells us? Everything, Your Excellency.
Everything?
Yes, I believe these barbaric teeth marks in the steak here amount to conclusive evidence in this case. Evidence that will prove beyond any doubt who shot Dr. Wilson.
Conclusive evidence? How many times have I heard that today? You wouldn't know the meaning of the phrase. Typical Japanese empty threats.
How can you be so sure?
Oh, it's quite simple. If you really had some conclusive evidence, you would have presented it to the court long ago.
Actually, the evidence I'm talking about hasn't been brought before the court yet.
Hasn't been? What?
But just because it hasn't been shown yet, doesn't mean that the evidence does not exist.
Objection!
This is absurd! The trial has run several hours already, and you say there's evidence yet to be brought forward? There can't be. I don't believe you have it.
Objection!
I don't. But there's someone else who does have it. Someone in this very courtroom.
Oh!
And if that person is willing to submit the piece of evidence I'm referring to, it will solve every remaining mystery about this case. Very well. I have a feeling this will be my last request of the defense in this trial. Who possesses the conclusive evidence that will reveal the truth about this whole affair?
Take that!
The answer is obvious. It's Inspector Hosonaga. What? I have it? Yes. You think I've been withholding conclusive evidence? That's ridiculous. No, I'm not saying that. Everyone's attention has been focused on the stake with the teeth marks. Yes. Now, earlier this afternoon, Sergeant Nosa told the court the following. I enjoyed chomping my way through a good steak. And as well as admitting he's to stealing Kurokook, the Karakata-san's coin, he told us he slipped it under the steak.
You watch it, cadet. I'm a superior officer.
Sergeant Nosa, could you confirm something for me, please? Was the steak you put on the coin under, in fact, your own steak?
Attention! Affirmative, of course. I might be a soldier in the Imperial Nippon Army, but still. I'm not brave enough to ask a foreign gentle lady if she'd mind me manhandling her meat to hide something in it.
In other words, the steak that the detective submitted as evidence earlier was in fact Sergeant Nosa's meal.
Objection!
You could have told me this earlier.
But that makes no sense. That plate was taken from the victim's table.
Objection!
This gentlewoman doesn't take bites out of her steak, nor did she have any opportunity to steal the coin.
Of course I didn't steal it. To even suggest a thing would be an affront to the entire British Empire.
Well then, how do you explain this paradox?
Exactly! Surely you're not going to suggest that the sergeant switched the two steaks over? You did switch the plates?
Well,
After it happened, when I saw the civilian had been murdered right in front of my eyes like that, I panicked. As I said, immediately lifted my steak and hid the coin underneath it. But then the waiter announced he was an undercover policeman. I thought I'd had it. I thought if he decided to investigate my slab of meat, that'd be it. I'd be getting my marching orders. So when the cadet here was arrested and taken off to the kitchen, I seized my chance. With military precision and timing, I switched my steak with the one on the foreign lady's table. What?
You can't tell. I never saw you do such thing.
It was called Operation Lightning Bolt. There was no time for strategic planning. It was do or die, I tell you. So yes, I did what had to be done. Unbelievable! However, fear not, Prosecutor-san. What now? I swear on the brass buttons on my uniform, that's all I did, sir. All you did? That's plenty, Sergeant.
Yes!
So, if Sergeant Nosa switched the plates over, it means he took Miss Brett's steak and the plate it was on back to his own table. Yes, that follows. Inspector Hosonaga. Yes. Earlier in this trial, you told the court this. You said that you had not only taken Miss Brett's steak after the incident, but also the sergeant's. That to preserve evidence, you had taken both. That is correct. Then please present that to the court now. Plate that was actually the victim's the plate that was actually on the victim's table at the precise moment he was shot.
Shut up!
What can that possibly tell us now? I mean, a cold slab of tough meat? It can't have the slightest bearing on the case.
Objection!
No, you're not wriggling your way out of this out of it this time, lady.
I beg your pardon?
Surely you're not that forgetful. Surely you remember the reason why the steak pan promises to prove such a problem for you? No?
You're the one.
Oh my gosh, so many questions. Okay.
You're the one who decided it was a problem, not me.
The reason the defense asked to see the plate was to confirm something that the defendant remembers seeing.
Thinks he remembers.
I'm quite certain of what I saw, Miss Brett. On the side of the plate on the table directly behind Dr. Wilson, there was a clear spattering of blood from the gunshot wound to the victim's chest. I believe the defendant's memory serves him well. And now we have the evidence to prove it. The plate you were eating from, Miss Brett. Let us not prolong this further. Inspector, you will show the evidence to the court. Present this beefsteak and the plate that was originally on the victim's table at the time of the incident. And take Miss Brett away, please. Yes, sir. Sorry for keeping you. Here's the other steak and its plate. Please, feel free to examine it. The blood stain. It's clearly visible. Look.
Yes!
Now this makes everything clear. The blood you can see on the side of the plate shows that at the moment of the victim was shot, he was facing the table with his back to me. In other words, it's impossible for Naruhodo-san to have shot the victim.
But it can't be!
In fact, there's only one person who could possibly have shot Dr. Wilson from the front. I'm sure everyone knows by now who that person is. That's right, Miss Jazrael Brett. It was you.
Outdone by Japanese? Me? By a Japanese schoolboy? No, no, no!
Vicious.
Yeah!
Oh my god. Oh my gosh. Oh, so over the top. Holy crap.
Please excuse my little outburst. I briefly lost my composure. Most unbecoming behavior for English gentlewomen. Forgive me.
Well, Miss Brett, I think it's time you told the court what actually happened that day. The truth, this time.
Gladly, Your Excellency.
It was I who took the professor's life using Karare. As you surmised, I chose that particular day for one very important reason. The professor had a dental appointment for the extraction of one of his teeth in the morning. So you had planned to kill the professor, knowing no trace of poison would be found in his water. Because Karare is unheard of here in Japan. Yes. Of course, I never intended to remain at the restaurant for as long as I did. I only needed to see the professor take one tiny sip of his water, and it would be all over. I would place the steak I had ordered in front of him to make it appear as though he had been dining alone, and leave immediately, however. Before any of that happened, there was an unexpected visitor at the professor's table. That would be me, I suppose. Yes, you. Who else? Such a trifling matter, but the fact that you decided to come over and greet the professor meant that I had lost my chance to slip away unnoticed. In due course, the professor took a sip of his water and was paralyzed. I made sure he was sitting in his chair such that he wouldn't fall. There was no going back at that point, so I concocted a plan on the spur of the moment. A plan to pin Dr. Wilson's murder on this innocent man. I happened to know that the professor always carried a gun. I decided to use that fact to my advantage. I had the bottle of curare in my handbag, and my own pistol concealed under my skirt.
Under your skirt?
So I was right, there were 2 guns. Yes. And then I finished my coffee and got up to leave. That's when I noticed the professor's gun, which you had presumably placed on the floor. Placed where you were sure I would notice it. And everything went according to plan. You noticed the gun as I intended. And then, just as you bent down to pick it up, bang! That's when you shot the professor with your own gun, even though at that point he was already dead. Naturally, the gunshot caused a commotion, at which point the waiter appeared. Obviously, I assumed Naruhodo-san was the culprit and apprehended him. I took him to the pantry that adjoins the kitchen and locked him inside. That's when I took the opportunity to turn the professor in his chair around. Because of course, you needed to make it look like the defendant had shot Dr. Wilson from where he picked up the gun. So there you have it. That is the entirety of my misdemeanor. Your Excellency? Yes. I wonder, might I speak with you in private later? And kill you? With my hidden gun? I shall call on you. Thank you. Good day then, everyone. I hope you can forgive me, Naruhodo-san. We're never gonna see her face, are we? She doesn't have a face. She doesn't have a face! it would seem, this trial has finally run its course. I presume the prosecution is in agreement?
This can't be! Taketsuji Aochi does not lose! Not in the likes of this rookie student!
Better get used to tough opposition.
Ah! Ryosuke Naruhodo!
What? Yes?
This insult to the Aochi family name will never be forgotten!
You've become conceited with age, Council, but the old have to stand aside and make way for the new. It's the way of the world. May you never forget that. Oh, dang. Wielding a weapon in court, no less? Man. So you're the one who starts it. This tradition of wielding weapons. Yeesh. Kazuma. In this trial in the Supreme Court of Japan will, I believe, go down in history as the start of a new chapter in our country's judicial system. Despite being summoned as the accused, you, Ryonosuke Naruhodo, presented an excellent case. I thank you, Your Excellency. The use of evidence and deduction to unravel the truth is a modern methodology. After all, it has only been a few short decades since our country opened its doors to the wider world. The Western ideas of science are rapidly gaining acceptance here. I feel sure that science will soon bring new methods of investigation and new procedures of justice. And a new future of law awaits. But what will it look like? I cannot begin to imagine.
Apparently not that different.
It is for the young to pursue. And Kazuma Asogi. Yes. After this trial, you are set to embark on a journey of discovery to the illustrious British Empire. Learn all you can, absorb everything of the wider world that you are able to. And do not forget to fulfill the mission imposed upon you. I understand, Your Excellency. What was that about? Why do you look so grave all of a sudden? Ah, never mind. As for you, Ryonosuke Naruhodo. Oh, yes? In you, I sense, how can I put it, unusual potential. Very much look forward to seeing how you carry that onwards. Thank you, Your Excellency. He's still so scared. It is time to deliver the final verdict. I hereby find the defendant, Ryonosuke Naruhodo, not guilty. Oh good, they're not still doing confetti. But this is still Ghost cherry blossoms from nowhere. The court is now adjourned. So over the top. Stop smashing it like a animation. Geesh. So 22nd November, 2:46 p.m. Supreme Court of Judicature, defendants and the chamber 5. I can't believe it. I can't believe what's happened. I made it. I defended myself and made it through that horrendous trial. Ryunosuke, you finally pulled it off. Congratulations. Well, I couldn't have done it without you. Thank you, Kazuma. Ha 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 ha. No, it was a pleasure to work you at work. So, you owed me an extra large sukiyaki from the place on University Street. Don't forget. Good afternoon. All your hard work has certainly paid off. Oh, it's Susato. Congratulations to you both of you for proving Naruhodo-san's innocence. Ah, a trusty judicial assistant. You worked hard for that result too, you know.
Oh no, I didn't do anything. Thank you so much.
If we hadn't had that research report of Miss Bratz, I don't know how things would have turned out.
Your kind words should really be for my father. I was simply doing as he asked.
It was his idea for me to go to the university and investigate. Your father? Ah yes, of course.
Forgive me for intruding on court proceedings, Your Excellency.
Susato Mikotoba, Judicial Assistant to the Defense. Speaking of Mikotoba... Oh! There you are! I believe congratulations are in order. Naruhodo, you did an excellent job. Thank you, Professor. Oh, no, it's I who should be thanking you. After all, your efforts exposed the true criminal that took the life of my good friend. Good friend? Oh yes, you mentioned that before. It was you who actually invited Dr. Wilson to Yume University, wasn't it? Yes, that is right. That is right. Professor Mikotoba studied overseas himself. He went to study forensic medicine in Great Britain. Presumably, that's when you met Miss Dr. Wilson? Exactly. In those days, we worked together in the same hospital. Oh, you worked together? I never heard you mention that before. Well, it was a long time ago now. Besides, it is your turn, Aosogi. Great Britain is a magnificent country. It leads the world in science, medicine, engineering, culture, and of course in law. Watch and learn, my boy. See what's happening in the world's biggest melting pot. I will. I'll learn all that I can. I swear on this. The spirit of the Osogi clan. You're not taking that sword to Great Britain, are you? Of course I am. A Japanese man's katana is his soul. A blade shows me where I need to go. And cuts down anything that's in my way. Yes, I've definitely seen how sharp it is already with my own eyes. That reminds me, what's happened to the woman? To Giselle Brett, I mean. After all, she's guilty of murder. Ah, yes, her. It is not easy to tell you this, but... What do you mean? Surely she's going to face trial herself now. She's the true culprit, after all. She will be leaving Japan in the near future. For Shanghai. What? Shanghai? Giselle Brett would not appear in court again in this country. I am certain of that. What? Why not? It is a matter of consular jurisdiction. It is a matter of consular jurisdiction. Inspector Hosonaga. It was a hard-fought battle for the courtroom today. Very impressive to watch. I must congratulate. But what's all this consular jurisdiction? We cannot try this particular foreigner for her crimes here in Japan. What? We can't try her? But then who? Who's going to bring her to justice? A British consular court will hear her case, somewhere far away where our forces can't be heard. But why a consular court? Professor, I simply don't understand. I thought consular courts were a thing of the past now that we've signed the friendship treaty. Yes, in normal circumstances, you are right. Then so long as this is not a serious incident of a highly political nature to our respective governments, they can't invoke a consular court just like that. They can't. Oh, can't they? Yes, she's a student, but it doesn't justify our government's making secret agreements about her fate, does it? Something strange is going on. Plot? So Miss Brett can't be held accountable for her actions here in Japan? I'm afraid for the young student. Today's trial was nothing more than a game all along. There was never any danger of comeuppance for her. I don't believe it. The British government's Foreign Affairs Ministry has demanded we hand over custody of Miss Brett. We're obviously taking this case of a foreign student committing murder very seriously. But it is going to change from now on. We can make it change. This is a time of great turmoil. This new era heralded by the start of the 20th century. One day, I have no doubt, that woman will receive the judgment she deserves. Yes, change is coming, and we're the ones driving it. Well, I think that is enough seriousness for now. This evening calls for a celebratory drink. But Professor... Right, there's no time for gloomy faces. We should be celebrating Ryonosuke's not guilty verdict. Let's start having some fun. In that case, might I suggest Love Carnival? As the head waiter, I should be delighted to provide you with ample food and drink. You're Detective Hosonaga-san, aren't you? Let's not worry about the details for now. To the carnival. Will you accompany us, Professor? Of course. La Carnival's food is second to none. I shall go and attend to the paperwork for Naruhodo-san's release. Oh yes, thank you. So Giselle Brett won't be tried here. I suppose that means I'll never know. I'll never find out why she killed Dr. Wilson. Kazuma. Yes, Ryonosuke? I just wanted to say thanks again, that's all. You really saved my skin today. Ha 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 ha. I didn't do a thing. You were the lawyer in there, weren't you? That defense was all your own work. Your skills made the difference, though. One day, I bet you'll be the best lawyer in the world. I'm not so sure about that. Huh? To be honest, something kept occurring to me over and over again during that trial. I couldn't help thinking that maybe you're the one destined to become a great lawyer, not me. What? Come on, be serious. If I helped you today, it was only right at the very start of the trial. But you have a natural talent for it. For being a defense lawyer, I mean. Oh no, not me. All that tense verbal combat, I never want to go through that again. I just did what you told me to do, that's all. Because I knew I could trust you. That's the point. Sorry? What do you mean, that's the point? Listen, Ryonosuke. Do you know what the most crucial weapon is that any lawyer... Do you know what the most crucial weapon is that any lawyer needs to in order to win? That is a sentence. Knowledge of the law? No. The ability to believe. To believe? To believe what? A defense lawyer has to fight for his clients. He has to believe in them at all times. Like you believed in me when I said I didn't do it. I'm human, just like you. I don't have some superhuman ability to know the truth. But you have to make a choice about what to believe in and stick to it when you're defending someone. Sometimes in a courtroom, you can't really be backed into a corner. But being able to remain faithful to what you chose to believe in, even then, well, that's not something that anyone can do. It takes a special kind of person. Huh. Believing in your client. Just look at today's trial. I'm a student lawyer with precious little real experience, but you never stopped believing in me. Well, you faced seemingly hopeless situations, time and again, but you never stopped looking for the truth. And in the end, you found it, through your own efforts, and because you never stopped believing in me. Thanks, Kazuma. There's something I want to ask you, actually. Ryonosuke. Well, it's a favor, really. Something very important to me. It sounds serious. What is... you're still here, are you? Oh, Inspector Hosonaga. I've arranged some rickshaws. I've arranged some rickshaws for us. Let's go. Thank you. We'll be right there. Let's pick up this conversation later. We should be celebrating right now. Your first court victory. Before you die. Oh no. He's gonna die, isn't he? He's gonna. I feel bad about this. He hasn't said the thing he wants to say. He's gonna leave it till later, and he's not going to get to. And your study tour to Great Britain. Don't forget. Ah, yes, that too. Oh no. So my very first trial came to an end. Is he gonna die? Is he gonna die? Are we gonna lose the best character already? Kazuma, Professor Mikotaba, Susato-san, who acted as my assistant, and the Inspector Hosonaga, who really didn't play a part in it, but still. It was because of the help and support of all these people that I managed to get through that trial. I mean, he helped it by preserving all the evidence, which no one else does, so you're actually very lucky. But more importantly, Kazuma hadn't managed to ask his favor of me. Little did I realize, he wouldn't get the chance because he's gonna die. Just how much it would change my life. Or apparently he will. Are they switching places? Is he going to Japan? Is he going to England? I mean, we know he's gonna. We know he's gonna go to England. That's the whole plot of the story. But is this what you're doing, good sir? He's staying here and you're going off to England. We're not. Okay. This rookie doesn't deserve it. Going off to England. Going off to England and taking Kazuma's place. Anyways, this is where we're gonna end it off for today. We're gonna save next episode for next time. Whoa. Thank you very much for watching, and have a nice day. Bye.